All right, we're gonna be good no matter what. Thank you, everyone. Call this meeting to order. Town of Atikokan Committee of the Whole for October 28th. First order of business, call to order. Second, disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. If anybody has a conflict, please declare it at the time of. Moving on, we've got a delegation today. It's an update from Lanny Cross regarding the Public Washroom Committee and next steps. Lanny, do you want to take the pedestal there? Make sure you turn your mic on as well. Aha, excellent. Thank you.
Yes. Mayor Ferguson, Council, Management, and guests, thank you for this opportunity to further our discussion and hopefully move this public washroom need to a more permanent solution. I would like to thank all of those who supported and helped with this project so far. Public Works for pumping, the volunteers for faithfully cleaning and maintaining, the Conservation Club for the purchase of the porta-johns and the signs, the councillors who supported this for their time and their dedication to make this happen, the monetary donations for the toilet paper, cleaning supplies, newspaper advertisements, etc. Our report to Council dated September 23rd was an update from the committee. We are very pleased with the usage and the respect that the users showed towards the porta-johns. We never had any major messes or any acts of vandalism. We would conclude that our temporary pilot project with the 2 porta-johns on Main Street and at Little Falls was a success. I would now like to refer back to our 4 requests to Council at our presentation on July 15th. Number 3, we asked that the Township Public Works would pump the porta-johns. They did this weekly and it worked well. Thank you. Number 4, we asked that a councillor be on a committee to discuss a viable plan forward for a permanent public washroom on Main Street. Councillor Shine and Councillor Martin both sit on this committee and hope to be able to move this forward. We have done some research on public washrooms and feel that the best option would be a cement structure built in Thunder Bay. These are similar to the ones MTO has on the highways. The main difference would be instead of a holding tank which causes odors, our facility could be connected to the town sewer and water. These units are painted with an epoxy paint to facilitate pressure washing and cleaning. We feel that a single accessible unit would meet the local need. Toilet and sink would be constructed of vandal-proof stainless or fiberglass. Electric heat could be added if this is to become a year-round facility. Our committee is willing to help work with council and management to further this project. Now, number 1, we ask council to recognize the need for an accessible public washroom on Main Street and a permanent porta-john at Little Falls during the summer tour season. Would council be willing to vote by a show of hands to support this need at this time? Can I ask you for a show of hands to support it? Do we have the support?
Lanny, we'll do your presentation, and then I think we'll invite questions and that from council before we make any
okay.
show of hands.
Okay.
Thanks.
So number 2, we ask that council remove the property at 110 Main Street West from the surplus property listing and designate this as a permanent washroom facility site. This site worked well this past summer and was well used. Its location is absolutely perfect and most central to all of the downtown businesses and services. Most businesses have posted signs that they do not have washrooms for public use, and we're quite appreciative of our solution. We hope council can embrace the permanent washroom proposal and can add this into the 2025 budget and their strategic plan. Our committee looks forward to working with council and management to meet this important need for Atikokan. Thank you. Any questions?
Councillor Shine.
I don't have a question. I just have some further information as towards that project. I've been working on a grant for the Royal Canadian Legion through the OHNFC called the Rural Enhancement Project, and the municipality may be able to tap into that. And to take into consideration too, we're also coming into an election year, so there may be some potential new grants coming out when they're trying to get reelected, right? So just keep that in mind when we're thinking about it, and definitely we should be putting it into our asset management and strategic plan and thinking about this for our budget. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Councillor Christie. First of all, I want to thank you, Lanny, for spearheading that pilot project, and it went very, very well. Very, very well. I noticed in our emails that we all got a couple of 3-4 days ago that there's a grant program out to help with washrooms that you are requesting. And I was wondering if you could work with the town to apply for that grant, if that's a possibility.
Well, we would, all BS aside, you got to thank my wife for all the paperwork and the real business end of things, because she does it all. She's more than willing to work with the group, however, to make it happen. Like as a volunteer, yeah.
So, may I ask his good wife a question?
Sure.
No, Leah says no. So, Lanny's good wife, do you think that that's a possibility, that grant? And are you going to maybe look into it?
I have the information for it. Yeah, we can look at it together.
We can discuss it further at the committee level, but that high-priced washroom that Fort Francis has, tapping into a couple $100,000, when we did the research on that, that takes special crane to lift that down in, it has to come out of Quebec. And so it takes a special float truck because of the extra weight. They're huge and they're heavy. The same thing with these smaller ones right here at Miller's, because they come with a floor and they're all completely assembled out of cement. They're very heavy. And if we can make do with a single unit, like we're coming in probably, I'm going to say we can probably be coming in there closer to $50,000 with a single unit out of Thunder Bay, opposed to a couple $100,000 out of Quebec, because your floating bill and your hoisting with, like you have to bring a crane all the way from Thunder Bay here just to hoist that, and they're heavy. So I did the research on that part of it, and I mean, and that one in Thunder Bay, or in Fort Francis, as beautiful as it is, and it is beautiful. What happens in Atikokan when we get one little computer glitch, and that thing decides to say, I'm not working today, we're done. The other one, if the door sticks, we'll fix it, and it'll still work, right? Yep. So that's just a thought, but I mean, we can discuss that at a committee level. I think the other thing with our committee would be nice if we could possibly include somebody from management when it comes time to get into some serious discussion as to the what's and wherefores and the legalities of it. Like I would welcome Jason or Lee or somebody else on there also, you know. Is that possible?
Yeah, so the thing about grants and stuff too is that a lot of them have a municipal component that we would have to, like, dollars that we have to put forward. Yep. And that really can't happen until the budget discussion, right? So I think it's good to bring this now. I'm glad that you guys are bringing it early. And certainly those discussions can happen during the 2025 budget consultations. And then at that point, then to find the grants, right? So you can't apply for the grant if you don't want to get a grant that you don't have your portion of, right? That looks bad to the funders. So we want to make sure that if this is the route that council wants to go, that we have our money already kind of spoken for. Yep. And then apply for those grants. So I think it's a little bit kind of putting the cart before the horse at this point, but it's good that you're bringing it up early so that we can have those discussions. Agreed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Simpson?
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. I think this is a good project, but just a couple of things. In the write-up you gave us, they said they were vandal-proof and easy clean. What makes them vandal-proof and easy clean? Like,
Which ones are we talking now?
the one,
In the
the one that you're talking about getting from Thunder Bay.
Okay, so basically all it is completely 100% cement. There's nothing there. There is nothing to break. It's the same ones that you see on the side of the highway, but they don't have, you wouldn't have the big vent and stuff with the septic tank underneath it. If it was gonna be used year-round, they do the vents different. By putting stainless steel or fiberglass, I really opt for stainless steel, something that they can't damage, okay? You've seen them on the sides of the highway going into Winnipeg, just as you're leaving the Ontario-Manitoba border. They have them there with the stainless steel. Are they pretty in the wintertime? No, nobody wants to sit on a cold old darn stainless steel seat, but nobody can hurt them. But, I mean, I think that's what we're looking for. We don't want to put a pretty little toilet in there.
You're never gonna stop anybody from going and spray painting it if they want to.
Well, here's the funny thing. These two porta-johns that we just bought and put out, they're made so that the paint won't stick to them.
Oh, yeah.
So people can paint them and you can wash it right off. We tried to put decals on for public washroom. Kim made the decals up. We went and put them on. They fell off by the next day because they wouldn't stick. So that's why we had, the Conservation Club went back and had Dutka make us permanent ones because nothing will stick to it. So that's what, but anyways, Miller themselves told me that they paint those with a special epoxy paint. So you can just go in there with a pressure washer and just spray them.
I went to Thunder Bay last winter and they were closed. They were locked up.
In the wintertime. Every one of them's different. Depends if they've got a holding tank underneath that's gonna freeze or don't, or.
So if this one here is gonna be piped in, you wouldn't have to worry about anything freezing, so it would be year-round?
We could have it year-round. That would be if council would go along with that. That, for sure, that's where we would go with it.
I know we don't have them yet, and it's gonna be a bit, maybe, but is Public Works gonna be the ones who clean them?
Probably not,
Oh, all right.
because the Public Works don't want to clean them. There's an employee in the Atikokan Township that wants to clean them, except the cleaning ladies that are contracted do that stuff.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is add that onto one of those things, and they swing by them.
What I was gonna say is, I don't know if it's in anybody's job description on the township that they clean toilets, you know, so you probably would.
Well, Jimmy Johnson said if nobody else would clean them, he'd clean them. My lovely wife cleaned them all summer, Liz.
Yeah, okay, good enough, thank you.
Any other questions? Mayor Ferguson?
Just a couple comments. So if it is, as Jason alluded to, a municipal thing, we just can't pick our favorite vendor and go with them. So if we're putting out, we'd have to tender it, and we'd have to go to at least 3 tenders to get a quote on this, because it is public funds, and we just can't pick someone that we like and give them the contract. If they did come out to be the cheapest, then that would be the way it goes. I was on the fence about the washroom when we started. I didn't think it was a great look for that space. I'm still kind of on the fence about that, but I see the need, and I think there is a need, but my vision would be to make that like a green space, a park with a washroom. Not just a washroom sitting there, but an actual place where there's picnic tables. Jason and I kicked around some ideas about maybe we get the charging station, the Ivy station, either a new one or that one moved over there. So when people come to charge their vehicles, there's a place for them to charge their vehicles, a washroom that they can use, there's picnic tables. So it's not just a bathroom on the side of the main street, but it's a kind of a park, public area where that has a washroom. So I think we should look at a more grand picture than just you know, this is the washroom, it should be area, okay, we're gonna make this area with a washroom. And I think we should turn our thought process to that instead of just saying, we're gonna put a washroom here. That's what I would like to see.
I think your idea is great, except you only got a 40-foot piece of property, so it's
Yeah,
pretty
but
small.
we do what we can, right? And, but I would just like to kind of turn that thought process instead of, this is where the public washroom is going. This is gonna be a green space where people can sit, mingle, and there would be a public washroom on that site. That's the way I would like to envision it. But I've kind of come to appreciate, because I've actually never used it, but I directed people to use it, which, you know, got me out of a bind with some people that I was with. So I see the need, but again, I'd like to reimagine it to something maybe a little more grand than just the washroom.
Well, that's why we want to start it now, so by next summer, it's ready to go. We can dream about it all, plan it all winter.
Councillor Shine?
Thank you. One thing to take into consideration, I don't know if anybody's been going around and noticing on the businesses in town, instead of just a black and white little poster now, they're bright, and it says, "No public access. Please see the municipal office." If we're going to think on the grand scheme of things, an ideal situation would be to close up the tourism bureau on the highway, develop a plan where the front of the building would be your tourism office with a place for storing their supplies, and the back would be your public washroom that could be accessed by the staff that volunteer at the tourist bureau, and then in the winter you have it locked off so they can't get into the other part. If you're going to dream big, that would be the ideal thing to think about.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Okay. There's a lot to chew on here. Did you have a question? No? Okay. Yeah, so I guess my question to you, Lanny, would be this ad hoc committee, is it going to continue on now that you've kind of gone through this pilot phase and you're looking for next steps? Is this the group you're going to keep working with to move this forward?
I want to keep on this committee till I see it sitting on Main Street and working.
Okay.
Time means nothing. We're retired.
Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. So is this the proper time for Lanny to ask for a show of hands? And
What would you suggest?
So council can't vote in any official capacity unless there's a resolution before the assembly, which there isn't. So you guys can vote just for your general discussion purposes, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, it's just as long as we have a show of support that we feel that we have the support of council, and if I have to lobby or take a couple councillors out between now and whenever, well, I know I have one enemy because she's debated it with me vigorously.
I don't think anybody's looking for a free lunch. So I think you've got good support from the council. I think I can be fairly confident in that, given the interest that you've had from council, and you've certainly gone through and proven that it is viable through a pilot project. And I think there is as an opportunity, as Mayor Ferguson has said, to develop that space into something larger. So I see that you've got councillors on board. I'm fully happy to help support that kind of on the side, to assist with the funding part of it and working with the Economic Development Office. I think there's opportunities there as well to access some funding or to have some bridge financing in place. So I think there's some good opportunity here, and I guess the next steps would be just kind of figuring out then the committee work. And did you have something you wanted to add to that, Jason?
I was thinking as well as council embarks on their strat plan service delivery review, the early part of the year, there's going to be public consultation, surveys and such, and I think it would be a good opportunity to hear from the public on a variety of different things, and this being one of them. So I think as your group kind of spreads the word, if you participate in those surveys, I think that'll come back to the group discussion that we have, and can hopefully move things forward.
I think we already proved we can get support fairly quickly if we need it. so we can make that happen on surveys or whatever. That's doable.
Great. Thank you. So
Anyways.
we'll keep working away at it then. And again, thank you for your committee's efforts in getting this moving forward. So it was clearly well used, and glad to see it was well respected by the community and those who used it. So
If another counselor wants to step on while Gord's out for the winter, that would be okay too. I mean, Gord's still in touch with us, like he emails and talks to Kim every second day on about other stuff, but if somebody else would like to be in on those discussions, apparently we couldn't have 3 counselors at a meeting, or that was a meeting. So if somebody else would like to step in while Gord's gone for the winter, that'd be awesome too. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
thank you so much, Lanny. I appreciate it. Moving on. Number 4, Section B, Finance. Number 1, Canada Community Building Fund Audit, report to Council. And that would be Brandy, I think.
Yeah, so if you recall, we were randomly selected for the Canada Community Building Fund audit for 2023. They also went back a couple years prior to that, and we got the all clear. I just submitted the report from the independent auditor. Anybody has any questions?
Seeing none, we'll move on to Public Works Agreement, Valard Construction, Sewage Processing. Tyler.
Me. Pretty simple report, all in front of you guys. Just field any questions that you have.
Mayor Ferguson?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. When you say it's so much for the first 40, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, for the first 40,000 liters and then more for anything above, what's the expected volume on a daily basis?
We're hoping to be around that 40,000.
Around 40 per day.
Yeah, they said they'd be looking about 2 to 3 loads, and they got 18,000 per load roughly. So.
Okay. And that is for one camp or more than one camp? We don't know that yet, right?
Nope.
Whatever they bring us.
Yeah.
Okay. And the additional cost, the additional cost is because we have to change our process if it is more than that?
Yeah, you just get into higher volumes, you need more chemicals, you got to adjust some flows, you use a little bit more power, things like that.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Tyler.
Any other questions from council? Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Knowles. I don't know if my math is correct here, but so that we would realize $10,000 a load or $1,000 a load?
1,000 if we do the 40, not per load. 1,000 if we do the 40,000 liters.
Okay.
So we could potentially come in at $1,000 per day if they do the full 40. We actually have written in there, I think we can go up to 60,000. So we'd be looking at that point, I think about $1,700 per day for treating all this. So of course, the important thing is we have provisions in there to not take it if it's raining. If we're getting in the middle of a big rainstorm and we're starting to back up, we don't have to take the loads, which is the important thing.
And that's written into the agreement?
It is, yeah.
Councilor Simpson?
Acting Mayor Knowles. I'm just wondering, Tyler, you were saying something about we might have to get a new, flow valve or flow something or something if it was too much? Or you said something there, adding chemicals and something else.
Yeah, the plant will automatically adjust and do it.
Oh, okay, the plant will automatically do it. Nothing that the town has to purchase to do except more chemicals, I guess.
Yeah, the plant just runs harder, that's all.
Okay.
NWI will have to do some work, right, to make sure everything's running properly, but the plant will just run more, essentially.
Okay.
We've confirmed that it won't go past our peak flows or anything.
Okay, great.
Any other questions? I just had one. So Tyler, you said if say it's raining quite hard and it's going to compromise this or potentially compromise the system, that they have alternative plans. Have they said like what the alternative plans are for offloading it if they can't use our existing system? Like, would they have to truck it out or?
Yeah, they'd have to go somewhere else, and they're also planning on having enough storage available to get them through kind of a couple days in that event as well. And I think they're working on some sewage works facilities as well, so this might wind up being a short-lived deal depending how they make it through with their ECAs and everything like that, but we'll make hay when the sun's shining.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Any other questions? Great, thank you. That's it. I was expecting more. Okay. With that, then we'll adjourn. I'll take a 5-minute break. Short and sweet. Thanks.